Scorpio, Happy New Year! This is Gwendolyn of Readings by Gwendolyn. Welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. I just want to say I hope that everyone has a year that's full of promise and joy and wishes fulfilled. And this is the January 2016 Tarotscope for Scorpio. I've gone ahead and already pre-shuffled the cards, and we'll just get right into it. Looks like January opens with a focus on the home or your foundations and stability, Scorpio. Four of Wands is a card that is festive and it's full of celebration and sometimes surprise too. So it may just be referring to the celebrations that you attended for the new year and this festive feeling. It could also, though, be a focus on the home, that you're either enjoying being at your home and celebrating at your home, or that you may be looking for a home, and that's where your focus is. But that's what you can see in this card. There's a garland that's in front of a castle. And so 4 is a foundational number. It's a structural number. So that's where your focus is as the month opens, Scorpio. And it could be that you're building something new. 3 of coins is collaboration. It's usually a card that depicts the architect and the person who's working on the building, and then also the person who's going to be using the building, the client. So there's a real, between these two cards, there's a real focus on foundations, structure, home. If you're working on like renovations, or even building something new, like building a new structure, that's what is featured here at the beginning of the month for you, Scorpio. And especially, 3 of Coins can be very creative. Some people call it the artist card. And it also features collaborative work. So if you're working on a group project or a group, anything that features multiple people working on it, that's definitely highlighted for you. It also, too, 3 of Coins can also sometimes mean many sources of income. So if you have rental property, or if you have ways where multiple streams of money are coming to you, that's what's also featured in this card. It could be related to your home. If you're thinking about renting something out, and making money from it, this is a good matchup that supports that. So that's, or alternatively, this could be building something that makes you money, and this could be like a home-based business because the home is featured here. So that's the opening of the month for you, Scorpio, and then you also have a lot of success featured. This card is 6 of Wands, which is success and victory, acclaim, pride, people, viewing you in good status. And so if you are thinking about doing something that's a collaborative project, or you're working on something collaboratively, there's a lot of success featured for that. So I would say go for it. And if you're thinking of doing something that brings you another source of income, or if you're thinking about doing something financially creative or working in a group project, you're going to reap a lot of benefit from that, and your efforts are going to be recognized. This is also a card where sometimes people get promotions because they're seen as the person who comes in on the white horse, or they're just viewed as being successful and victorious. This is a wreath of laurels that, shows up when someone has won a contest. The one thing I'll say about this card, though, too, is be careful that you don't get too high on your horse with this card. There's, between these two cards, there's a lot of pride and sort of believing that you're the best. Devil is a card where it could just show that you're being very passionate about what it is you're doing. And that's why you're achieving so much success, that you're really, seduced by and engrossed with what it is you're doing. That's the high side of Devil. And it's, it can be sensuality, it can be passion, it can be lots of things where you're just throwing yourself into whatever you're doing. The other side of devil can be that it's a false belief, or that there's too much pride. Devil thinks that he can rule the world and he thinks he's in charge of everything, but it's a false belief, and you can become shackled to it, or you can become enslaved to it. So be careful that if you're working on something and you're achieving a lot of success, be careful that it doesn't consume you or become some sort of addictive thing, like being addicted to work, or being addicted to spending time at a hobby or with something that you become enslaved by. Because if you do that, there's this line of feeling victimized, feeling like you need to recover from something. So be careful. When devil shows up, I always say to people, look past devil to see where the truth is. Don't believe that he is the truth. Look past him and see the light that's shining, because he will claim to be the truth, but he's not. And that's where you get stuck. That's where you get into addictions, feeling enslaved by something, when you believe in something that's not true, or when you give yourself over to something that you think is good, but it ends up taking you. This card in the middle of the month, 8 of Wands, means that things can happen very swiftly. This is a card of unlocking the last puzzle piece. And you see in the card that the wands are 80 to 90% lined up. So it means that something is approaching completion. It means that things can happen rather fast, or that you might get a piece of information or news that gives you the final completion on something. So in the middle of the month, things might happen very rapidly. And you have Temperance, which is the angel of peace. So there's something that is going to create some serenity. This is a card of balance and calmness, and it's a card of balancing energies, taking the moderate path. You can see in the card that the angel has 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on land, which is showing a balance between the physical world and the emotional world. So this is a nice card of serenity. You might just achieve serenity and balance, through whatever information you receive here. It might be soothing to your heart. And this card, too, is a card of the heart. This is Page of Cups, which represents, pages are always willing and enthusiastic about what they're doing. They've got this young energy. And cups represent heart energy. So I often call this card infatuation, or being willing to consider what your heart loves. Being willing to engage with what your heart wants. It also can sometimes represent infatuation with a person, or acknowledging what your sort of childlike desires are. When I see a kid and says, "Mommy, I want that," that's very Page of Cups energy. It's just about acknowledging the true desires of your heart. And I see, because Page of Cups is looking upon this angel here, it's just saying, like, you might find yourself in a real state of contentment in the middle of January, Scorpio. It's also, Page of Cups can be a water sign. So this could be Scorpio, you, or Cancer, or it could also be Pisces. So there may be a way in which, you're engaging with someone who is another water sign, or this could just be you. I'm kind of reading this as you, Scorpio, because with the success that you may be given, or the accolades, or feeling high on your horse, you're coming to this place of peace and moderation and just calmness and serenity in the middle of the month. It's a really nice time. And it could be contentment in love as well, because, again, the cups represent heart energy. This card, 8 of Swords, is victim mentality. So in this card, swords always represent our thoughts, and she's surrounded by her thoughts. So be careful. Also see, too, that the home is here. It's echoed. This castle, if you can see it, is echoed in both this home card, this 4 of Wands, and this 8 of Swords here in this deck. So be careful that you don't feel like you're a prisoner within your own home. Swords always represent thoughts, and she's surrounded by her thoughts, but In this case, she's victimized by her way of thinking. And she's in victim mentality. She feels powerless and like she can't do anything. But really, she has the power to walk away. She's not actually enclosed by those swords, but her beliefs allow her to believe that she's not able to move. She could actually cut her blinds on any of those swords, take off her blindfold, and walk away at any time. But it's her belief system that's not allowing her to do that. So in line with Devil here, I'm going to say be careful of what you put your beliefs in, because it can sometimes make you feel powerless, or you may become a victim without realizing it. On the low side of this card, it's just powerlessness and not thinking that you can't do it, thinking that you have no power or control in this situation, not believing in yourself. So let go of what the way out of this card is to let go whatever those false beliefs are that are keeping you enclosed and imprisoned, and you will actually be able to walk away from that. So keep that in mind, Scorpio. Especially if you have in any ways given yourself over to indulgences in terms of pride and success. It may end up crippling you or feeling like it may hamstring you. If you, especially I'm seeing something related to the home and building and feeling proud and successful, but then it becomes an addiction and it ends up kind of maybe, just be careful of that, what you invest your beliefs in. Towards the end of the month, I see that you have Judgment here. This is a card that I usually associate with forgiveness. This is a card of leaving the ghosts of the past behind. As you can see in the card, these gray figures are rising up from the grave. And then there's new fire that is sort of cleansing everything and calling everything anew, saying there's time for new life. So again, I call this card leaving the ghosts of the past behind. And usually this is through forgiveness, that there is new life or a new way of doing things. So it can be a real card of renewal. It's got a lot of power and strength to it because it is a major arcana card. So that comes for the end of the month. And it may be regarding a younger person who's a fire sign. This is Page of Rods. So if you have had conflict with someone who's a fire sign, that's Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries, it may be time to work on your relationship with them. It may be time to forgive them. Or this could be someone who works for you or that you work with, or even a child of yours. Someone who is another fire sign who's younger. I'm seeing that you need to employ forgiveness towards them or renew, let go of the past, of whatever has happened with them, because there's friction here and it's saying it's time to come back to, sunny optimism with them. I also see that there's a lot of hope in that situation. The Star is a card of hope. It's a card of self-acceptance. It's a card of, balance and order and believing in things, believing in yourself especially, and accepting yourself as the natural shining person that you are. And it could be in relation to this person. It could be that you need to forgive yourself and them and accept yourself in the situation, your own actions and their actions, and just find some peace in that. This card is a real card of balance. You can see in the card, just like Temperance here, which is another interesting theme for you, Scorpio, equal footing between the emotional world, which is 1 foot in the water, and then 1 foot on land, which is grounded physical energy. So there's a nice feeling of balance and order if you can employ this forgiveness. This love that you have maybe towards this person. It's all surrounded. It's all surrounding these two cards, this fire sign and this forgiveness card. And there's all this like self-acceptance, love, balance, and order, things coming to completion. So consider that towards the end of January, Scorpio. And then there's a way in which at the end of the month you may need to recover from something, or you may want to travel and not be able to travel. This is 6 of Swords, which has to do with new horizons. So it can be recovery from something or travel. Because it's in the reverse position, it's telling me that you might be having a hard time recovering from something, or that you may want to travel but you're not able to. It's being held in suppression, or there may be some doubt or fear. It can also, because I'm seeing it in this line with Devil and Eight of Swords, it could be related to that powerlessness, and if you feel like you're being held back, you're not able to go forward. And that, again, has to do with false beliefs, not believing in yourself, not believing in your own power. And therefore, it may obstruct you, or you may want to do things, go out, travel, have further horizons, or you may have a hard time recovering from something. So, that's my reading for you, Scorpio, for January 2016. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you all have a beautiful start to the new year. I want to thank you for watching. Yours in the Stars. If you enjoyed the reading, feel free to check out my readings for the other signs, and also feel free to share on any platform, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Yours in the Stars.